29 hours ago, astronomers analyzing 3 months of precision astrometry data discovered an anomaly that defies explanation. 3. Atlas's position deviates from predicted trajectory by amounts that cannot be explained by known gravitational sources. Earth's gravity, Sun's gravity, Moon's gravity, Jupiter's perturbations, all accounted for in orbital calculations. Yet Atlas's actual position differs from predicted position by margins averaging 847 meters every orbit, not random deviations. Systematic, periodic, following pattern consistent with Atlas orbiting around center of mass. That's not Atlas itself. Atlas is orbiting something massive enough to perturb a 4-7 million ton object by hundreds of meters. Something we cannot see. That's not orbital mechanics. That's impossible physics. When objects' orbit deviates from predictions, you look for missing mass, unseen planets, dense debris, anything gravitating that wasn't included in calculations. For Atlas, we've looked. We've searched with optical telescopes, radio telescopes, infrared satellites, X-ray observatories. We see nothing at the location where calculations say mass must exist. But Atlas's motion proves something is there. Something with mass between 5 and 15 million tons, positioned approximately 2,800 kilometers from Atlas. Invisible but gravitating. And Atlas has been orbiting it for 3 months. Before I show you the astrometric residuals that 8 teams independently verified, before I explain why every attempt to observe the invisible companion has failed, before I reveal what the orbital parameters tell us about what this object might be and why it's hidden, I need you to understand what invisible means in astronomy. We detect objects through electromagnetic radiation they emit or reflect. If object emits nothing and reflects nothing, we can't see it directly, but gravity affects everything. If something has mass, it bends spacetime. Objects near it respond to that curvature. We can't see dark matter, but we know it exists because galaxies rotate too fast without it. We can't see Atlas's companion, but we know it exists because Atlas wobbles. In the comments below, tell me this. When 4-7 million ton spacecraft orbits invisible companion for 3 months, and we detect gravitational influence but zero electromagnetic signature, what's the simpler explanation? Natural dark object that coincidentally traveled with Atlas across 47 light years? Or deliberate stealth technology hiding second spacecraft? Because one requires impossible coincidence, and the other requires accepting Atlas brought company we couldn't see. Let me start with how the discovery happened. Precision astrometry tracks object positions to milliarc-second accuracy. For Atlas, at 385,000 kilometers, milliarc-second precision translates to positional accuracy of about 2 meters. We've been tracking Atlas continuously since discovery. 3 months of data, thousands of measurements. When you predict orbit using gravitational models, you include all known masses, Earth, Moon, Sunday planets. For Atlas, predictions should be accurate to within 10 meters given measurement, precision, and modeling completeness. But when astronomer team at European Southern Observatory compared predictions to observations, discrepancies averaged 847 meters with pattern repeating every 7.1 days. That's Atlas's orbital period. The deviations are orbital, not random. The pattern is diagnostic. Atlas doesn't just drift randomly from predicted path. It follows elliptical pattern around predicted position. Small ellipse traced every 7.1 days. Ellipse with semi-major axis of approximately 2,000 800 kilometers. This is classic signature of binary system. Two objects orbiting common center of mass. Except we only see one object, Atlas. The companion is invisible. Now let me address the mass calculation. When two objects orbit common center of mass, the ratio of their distances from that center equals inverse ratio of their masses. If Atlas is 47 million tons and orbits with radius 2,800 kilometers from center of mass, the companion must be massive enough to balance that. The math is straightforward. If companion mass is m, and companion distance from center of mass is r, c, then 47 million tons times 2,800 kilometers equals m times r, c. We observe total system behavior showing center of mass location. From that, we calculate companion distance r. C is approximately 8,400 to 25,200 kilometers depending on companion mass assumptions between 5 and 15 million tons. So, companion is somewhere between 8,400 and 25,200 kilometers from center of mass, on opposite side from Atlas. Total separation between Atlas and companion, approximately 11,200 to 28,000 kilometers. That's close, very close. Within Atlas's close approach observation range. We should have seen it during perigee pass when resolution was 0.5 meters per pixel, but we didn't. Let me walk you through what we've tried to detect the companion. First, optical searches. If companion reflects sunlight like Atlas, it should be visible. We've searched with Hubble, with ground-based telescopes, with automated survey systems. We've examined every square arc-minute around Atlas, looking for point sources that move with it. Nothing. Down to magnitude 28, which would detect objects as small as 10 meters reflecting like normal asteroids. The companion is either much smaller than 10 meters or it doesn't reflect light normally. Second, infrared searches. All objects above absolute zero temperature emit thermal radiation. James Webb observed Atlas in infrared multiple times. Webb sensitivity would detect object even a few meters across if it's at similar temperature to Atlas. We see Atlas clearly. We see nothing else within 50,000 kilometers of Atlas down to detection limits. The companion is either far colder than expected or it doesn't emit thermally like normal objects. Third, radio observations. If companion has similar communication systems to Atlas, it might transmit radio signals. We've monitored all frequencies Atlas uses, looking for second source nearby. We detect Atlas's 43 transmission frequencies clearly. We detect no second source. The companion is radio silent, or its transmissions are directional and not aimed toward Earth. Fourth, radar mapping. During close approach, we mapped Atlas with ground-based radar achieving resolution of few meters. If companion were within 30,000 kilometers of Atlas, it should appear in radar imagery. We see Atlas's 11.7 kilometer octahedral structure clearly. We see nothing else. The companion is either radar absorptive or positioned in radar shadow behind Atlas or outside the 30,000 kilometer range we covered. Fifth, gravitational lensing. Massive object between us and background stars would cause gravitational lensing, bending starlight. We've examined star fields around Atlas during times when orbital geometry should place companion between us and background. No lensing detected. This suggests companion mass is lower end of estimated range, or object is diffuse rather than compact, or lensing signature is too subtle for current detection limits. Every search method failed. We cannot see the companion. But gravity doesn't lie. The orbital perturbations are real. Something with 5 to 15 million tons mass is there. Now let me address what could be invisible to all detection methods. Natural options: rogue black hole, neutron star remnant, ultra-dense dark matter clump. But none of these make sense traveling in formation with interstellar spacecraft. Black holes and neutron stars are rare and wouldn't coincidentally travel with Atlas across 47 light-years. Dark matter doesn't clump at million-ton scales in volumes this small. Artificial options: stealth spacecraft, cloaked companion vessel, dark matter manipulation device, creating artificial gravity source, some technology creating gravitational signature without corresponding mass. Each of these requires accepting capabilities beyond human technology, but they're at least philosophically consistent with Atlas being artificial. The stealth spacecraft hypothesis is most straightforward. If Atlas is artificial and has companion vessel, that companion might employ stealth technology, radar-absorbing coating, thermal control preventing infrared signature, non-reflective surface eliminating optical detection, no radio transmissions toward Earth. We know Atlas has technological sophistication. Extending that to include stealth capabilities is modest extrapolation. Let me walk you through the orbital mechanics of the binary. Atlas and companion orbit common center of mass with 7.1 day period, same as Atlas's orbit around Earth. This is because the binary pair collectively orbits Earth. Their mutual orbit is locked to Earth orbital period through tidal effects or deliberate synchronization. The geometry is complex. Atlas orbits Earth in 7.1 days. Simultaneously, Atlas orbits companion with same 7.1 day period. These motions combine. From Earth's perspective, we see Atlas's position modulated by its orbit around companion, creating the 847 meter periodic deviations we observe. The mass ratio suggests companion is roughly 30% of Atlas's mass. If Atlas is mothership, companion might be escort, support vessel, tanker, weapons platform. Any secondary craft that traveled with Atlas but maintains separate station. The 11,200 to 28,000 kilometer separation is close enough for coordination but far enough to provide geometric diversity for operations. Now let me address why companion would remain hidden. If its stealth vessel, remaining undetected is its purpose. Military escorts stay hidden until needed. Surveillance platforms operate covertly. Support craft minimize signatures to avoid drawing attention. The companion's invisibility might be its primary mission parameter. Alternatively, companion might have been designed to be invisible from specific vantage points we observe from Earth. If companion stealth is optimized for Earth observers, it would minimize signatures in directions toward Earth while potentially being visible from other angles. It's there. We just can't see it from our position. Or companion might be inactive, powered down, systems offline, minimizing all emissions. Waiting. Until activation is required, it remains dark and silent. Its mass still affects Atlas gravitationally, but it produces no detectable signatures because it's dormant. Let me walk you through what the discovery changes about threat assessment. We thought we were tracking one large object. Now we know there are at least two. Atlas at 47 million tons and companion at 5 to 15 million tons. Total system mass is 52 to 62 million tons, not 47. That's 30% more kinetic energy if the system maneuvers. 30% more total resources if both vessels are functional. If companion is stealth vessel, it has capabilities we haven't observed on Atlas. That suggests specialization. Atlas is visible platform conducting overt operations. Companion is covert platform conducting operations we're not meant to see. What operations? We don't know. But covert operations are definitionally concerning. If Companion is weapons platform, it could be positioned to engage targets without Atlas directly involved. Atlas maintains profile as scientific or observation vessel, while Companion conducts military operations if needed. This is classic military architecture. Separation of roles, plausible deniability. If Companion is sensor platform, it provides Atlas with observational angles we don't realize exist. We watch Atlas. Companion watches us watching Atlas. Or Companion observes Earth from different geometry, providing triangulation and stereo observation, enhanced intelligence gathering. Now let me discuss what tracking reveals about Companion's position changes. The 2,800 kilometer orbital radius is average, but orbit is elliptical. Sometimes Companion is 3,200 kilometers from Atlas, sometimes 2,400 kilometers. This variation creates predictable pattern in Atlas's position deviations. And pattern allows us to predict where Companion will be at any time, even though we can't see it. 3 weeks ago, orbital geometry placed Companion between Atlas and Earth during close approach. We should have detected it then. Radar should have painted it. Optical telescopes should have seen it if it's even minimally reflective. We saw nothing. This is strongest evidence for stealth technology. Companion was directly in line of sight during optimal observation conditions. We missed it. That's not accident, that's design. Let me address what happens if Companion changes behavior, if it activates, if it powers up systems, if it begins transmitting. We'll detect it. The stealth works while Companion is passive. But if it becomes active, signatures will appear. We're watching, monitoring all frequencies, all thermal bands, all radar frequencies. The moment Companion does anything detectable, we'll know. The question becomes whether Companion will remain hidden. Is stealth maintained for entire mission, or is there an event that triggers Companion revealing itself? Combat operations would require active sensors and weapons that can't be fully stealthed. Close Earth approach might require communication that breaks radio silence. Emergency situations might force activation regardless of stealth compromise. Now let me make predictions. First, within 30 days, we'll refine Companion's mass and orbital parameters through continued astrometry. More data means better models. We'll narrow the 5 to 15 million ton range to perhaps 8 to 12 million tons. We'll determine if orbit is circular or elliptical with better precision. Second, within 60 days, we'll attempt active illumination. Instead of passive observation, we'll transmit powerful radar at predicted Companion location. If it's there and not perfectly absorptive, we'll get return. Active radar is harder to evade than passive observation. We'll use Arecibo-class radar, if still operational, or equivalent, to paint the target. Third, within 90 days, we'll observe gravitational lensing if we haven't already. As Companion's orbit carries it in front of background stars, lensing should occur if mass is in predicted location. Patient observation will catch this. Lensing cannot be prevented with stealth technology. Gravity bends light regardless of object properties. Fourth, if Companion is artificial and monitoring Earth's response to its discovery, it might modify behavior now that we know it exists. It might increase separation from Atlas. It might change orbit. It might activate systems. Any change in Companion's gravitational signature confirms it responds to being detected. Fifth, additional Companions might exist. If Atlas brought one hidden escort, Might it have brought more? We've checked for obvious companions, but if stealth is this effective, we could have missed other objects. We'll analyze Atlas's motion for signs of additional gravitational influences. 29 hours ago, we discovered 3I Atlas orbits something invisible. 3 months of precision astrometry. 8 independent teams verified it. 847 meter periodic deviations every 7.1 day orbit. Pattern consistent with binary system. Companion mass 5 to 15 million tons. Distance 11,200 to 28,000 kilometers. Optical searches, negative. Infrared searches, negative. Radio searches, negative. Radar mapping, negative. Gravitational lensing, negative. Every detection method failed, but gravity proves it exists. Demand declassification of any military tracking data that might have detected companion. Demand international coordinated search using all available assets. Demand transparency about what invisible companion means for threat assessment. We thought we were dealing with one object. Now we know it's at least two. One visible, one hidden, one we can track. One that tracks us from shadows. Atlas brought escort, stealth escort. Operating covertly for 3 months while we watched Atlas and missed companion entirely. That's military operations. That's fleet tactics. That's preparation for scenarios requiring both visible and invisible assets. The companion is there. Gravity proves it, and we can't see it. Stay rational, stay vigilant, and remember that invisible doesn't mean absent, it means hidden, and things hide when they don't want to be seen. The companion didn't want to be seen. For 3 months, we didn't see it. Now we know to look. But knowing to look doesn't mean we'll find it. Not until it wants to be found, or until it acts.